In spite of the many benefits of enlightenment, many people hold certain objections against it. These objections are most of the time false and come from the egoistic mind. My first advice is the following. Don't judge a tree before you tasted its fruits. Don't try to guess what enlightenment is like before you reached it. The first common objection sounds like this. Isn't enlightenment about the meaninglessness of life? Then what's the point of living? The fact that life has no meaning is not a bad thing. It's actually good news. It means that you can enjoy it right now. There's nothing to reach, and there's no need to wait for anything to make you happy. Did you ever wonder what is the meaning of meaning itself? Meaning means that one thing is a means to something else. If one thing does not lead to another, the thing has no meaning. Then it is not a means to reach something else, it is an end in itself. Life in itself is meaningless. It does not have a goal, it exists for itself. Life is not a means to reach something. Life is the goal itself. Life is not suffering, but a gift. You did not suffer to get this gift. You did not even ask for it, and you don't truly understand it. You just received it for no reason. That is why you cannot appreciate it. The problem is that you degrade the present as a means to reach a goal in the future, when in reality the present is the goal itself. You consider money as the goal, when in fact it is just a means. You sacrifice your life for money instead of doing just the opposite. Money is only a means to support your life, to be able to live in health and prosperity. The root problem is that you are functioning out of your mind. The mind has a strong tendency to make a goal out of everything and reduce every other thing to a means. When it reaches a certain goal, it needs to create another one, because actually, it cannot enjoy the goal it reached. Your mind is constantly asking what the meaning of life is. You are always in the present moment, but for your mind, the meaning is always in the future in the form of a goal. The mind tells you that you cannot be happy until you reach the goal. But even if you reach it, the mind cannot enjoy it, and you never become really happy this way. If you live your life for a goal, you miss the goal of your life. The meaningful things in life have no meaning. They are not a means to anything else. What is the meaning of beauty, of love, of happiness? What is the meaning of a rose? They are an expression, an overflowing of divine energy. The ultimate expression of divinity is life itself. Life is ultimately meaningful, yet ultimately meaningless at the same time. This means that life has no ultimate goal, but is the ultimate goal itself. You live to experience living. Don't search for the meaning of life. Don't strive for happiness. In fact, the more you can enjoy meaningless things, the more happy you will be. You have to remember that life is a divine play, and you have to play your part. If you play somebody else's part, you will be unhappy. If you take the part too seriously, you will be equally unhappy. There are no stakes in this play. It is not a game. However, you have to be serious about having fun. You should not waste any moment of the play by not enjoying it. Meaning is always in the present moment. But you can only realize this when your mind does not wander to the past or the future. When you can notice the depth, the beauty, and the sacredness of the moment, its meaning will also be revealed to you. The second most common objection to enlightenment sounds something like this. But if I drop my ego, won't I also lose the motivation to do anything at all? Isn't the ego necessary for survival? I am not saying that survival is not important. It's essential. But there is much more to life than just pure survival. In the short run, survival is the most important. But in the long run, you are dead. You will feel truly alive only when you are motivated by things beyond survival. This is why you have to select goals with the end in mind, by looking at your own mortality. For those who live only for survival, life will seem inevitably meaningless in the end. They will ask themselves, why did I fight all my life when I reached nothing in the end? Is there all there is to life? These people are short-sighted because they fight for survival all their lives, when they already know that all lives end with death. In the long run, survival is impossible, so it is foolish to make it the goal of your life. All right, but what about motivation? Well, motivation is only needed for those things that you don't want to do in the first place, but you force yourself to do them anyway. Enlightenment eliminates these false motivations and uncovers your true desires. Just like children don't have to motivate themselves to play, you also don't need motivation for something you enjoy. And last but not least, the third objection to enlightenment goes along these lines. So if reality is an illusion and nothing is inherently right or wrong, does it mean that I can do all sorts of evil things? No, this is another misunderstanding coming from the egoic perspective. I am not saying to break the law or to be immoral. I am suggesting to go beyond both morality and immorality. Imposed morality is fake because it is coming from the outside. Real morality is internal, and its source is being authentic. Conventional wisdom says to do good things, and then you will also be good. Yes, you will be considered to be a good person by others, but you will remain unconscious and divided. I say be good first, and then you will do good things. Be real, be conscious, and the consequences will follow, but not the other way around. If you become totally conscious, you will do good things just because you want to do them, because you feel it at your core that it is the right thing to do. When you are conscious, you cannot help yourself but do good and be good only. The effects will come back to you immediately. You don't need to wait for another life or heaven. With enlightenment, you realize that you are not separate from any other living being. Then you will also know that by hurting others, in reality, you're hurting yourself. Enlightenment will bring you the highest level of morality possible, when you won't have to think about at all what's right or wrong. You will just instinctively know. With all of this said, we went through the number one secret to enlightenment, the 3 most common myths and objections. But this is not the end yet. The most important piece of the puzzle is still missing. I created a video to explain everything in detail about this essential component. In this video, I'll tell you the number one obstacle that's holding you back from spiritual enlightenment and how to overcome it. It's a bit longer, but make sure to watch it all through the end, because you'll discover what's sabotaging your spiritual growth.